Yo, what's going on? It's your boy, Mr. Locario, the bad boy of the dating game. What's good? So, in this video, I wanted to talk about, marriage and the problem with married men. And also, this video is for you guys who are married or guys who are thinking about getting married. And I want you to make sure you don't get married until you listen to this entire video, because I got to say some stuff that's, going to help you out here. And I know there's some people that's already listening to this. They're like, oh, fuck that. I'm never getting married. I'm MGTOW. I don't do that shit. So this video is not really for y'all, even though I know you're going to listen, but it's not really for y'all. This is for guys who are thinking about that shit, or guys who are even in the marriage, hopefully, but this is more actually for guys who are not married and are thinking about it, or who might end up getting into a marriage situation, right? So what I want to say about this, and this is the problem with married men and marriage and guys who are getting shit popping in this marriage shit, right? The problem is this, is that a lot of guys who are married, right, they're miserable. And they have terrible marriages. And the reason why this happens is because these guys who are married, they didn't do the right things before they got married. Right? So a lot of times when people think of marriage, especially guys nowadays, they think about it like, yo, this is some bullshit. This is fucked up. I'm never doing that. It doesn't make any sense, because if we get divorced, she's going to take half and this and that, yada, 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 right? And what happens is, the reason why a lot of these marriages fail and these guys end up having to, go through all that bullshit is because they didn't do the work beforehand. And so what I mean is, you have to make sure that any chick you're marrying, or even, let's say, a girl you're making your girlfriend, your long-term girlfriend or whatever, but, I'm just sticking to marriage here. Any girl that you make, your wife, right? She has to be qualified to be your wife. And see, the problem with married men is a lot of men are married to women who are not qualified to be wives. Right? So basically what happened is that they basically just got with some chick, and that was that. And they married her. It was like, oh yeah, you're cute. Let's get together. I like you. I'm going to marry you. And that's that. See, they didn't look to see if she was marriage material. They didn't, test the situation out to see if she was worthy of being a wife. And the funny part is, some of these guys, they get into these relationships, they realize that their woman is on some bullshit, and they still end up marrying this girl. And they wonder why this shit goes down the drain. Now, what you have to understand is this, and what I was saying before is that you have to do the work beforehand, is that you have to be able to make sure that in your situations, that you're dealing with women, this is, let's say you first date the girl, she becomes your girlfriend or whatever it is, right? Within that time, you need to make sure that you're managing the situation correctly. This means you need to make sure that you are training this chick, that you are upgrading her mind, that you are making sure that she's the type of chick who's going to be fit to be with you. See, this is the part that dudes don't do, and this is why their situation fucks up. You understand? So the thing is, you have to do the work beforehand. See, it's not that marriage is fucked up or whatever and all this other stuff. It's that dudes don't know how to manage their chick, and therefore that's the reason why their marriages are fucking up. You understand? It's like, let's use business for an example, because a lot of times, people say, oh, don't get married because marriage is fucked up or whatever. Right? And then you would hear, even in business, some people say, what's the point of like starting a business, because what do they say? 3 out of 4 businesses fail or whatever, shit like that, right? So it's not that businesses are fucked up. It's that when a business doesn't do well, it's because the people who were in that business didn't know what they were doing and they didn't know how to manage that situation. You see what I'm saying? So it's not necessarily that the business is a bad thing. It's that they didn't know what to do in order to make that business work. Same thing with marriage. These guys don't know what to do to make the shit work. Right? So what happens is the big argument a lot of times guys have is they'll say, well, you know, if you get married, it's fucked up because, you know, if it doesn't work out, the woman's going to take half of your stuff and all this other stuff, right? Which is true. Now, this is what I'm saying about not doing the work beforehand, because if you do the work beforehand, that wouldn't be an issue. And what I mean by that is this, right? Is that I remember, and before I even get into that, I remember somebody, I was listening to some podcast or something, and some dude, he was sort of making a business analogy also to marriage, and he said that it's kind of like, you know, he said marriage is kind of like if you're getting into business with someone and you say, and a person wants to get in business with you, and they say to you, hey, I want you to put up 90% of the cash or the capital to start this business, and once the business takes off, you know, you're only going to get 50% and I'll get 50%, right? And he's saying that that's sort of like the you know, a way to look at marriage, where it's like, you know, you get with this chick who's not really putting in anything, and then later on she's getting half of the shit that she didn't even, you know, work to put in, right? And this is true for a lot of marriages, and this is the point I'm trying to make. The problem with you married guys, or guys thinking about this shit, is you do not take the time to make sure a chick is putting in before you decide to give her that position. You understand? So again, you are not taking the time to make sure that the chick is putting in before you give her that position of wife. So what I mean is, a guy, he meets a girl and he likes her and he's like, oh, you're cool. And then you start dating her, fucking her, you make her your girlfriend, and then you're like, I'm going to marry her. But all she did was fuck you. You understand what I'm saying? She didn't do anything to bring anything else to the table or to help you out with whatever you're trying to do with your shit, in order to say, look, this is my half that I'm putting in. You understand? Just like if you're doing that business, you're not putting in 90%, you're putting in your half, she's putting in her half. And what her half is that she has to basically support your leadership. Right? And see, if she's supporting your leadership, that means that she's following, you know, your program, and she's putting in to your program, which makes your program bigger. See, the problem is dudes are marrying chicks who aren't really putting in anything into the program. Now, whatever that program is, that's, you know, up to you, whatever you're trying to do. You understand? This could be a chick putting in monetary shit. This could be a chick putting in that sweat equity. This could be a chick, you know, proving herself based off of her doing the things that she needs to do to stick with you. But also this means that you need to be on point with whatever you're trying to do, meaning you should have some sort of purpose in your life that you're trying to attain, and she has to put in on that. So, like, for example, I use myself for example. So, you know, all of you know me as Mr. Lucario. So, for example, my wife, what she did was that she helped me out with building the Mr. Lucario brand. Meaning she helped out with the products, you know, putting together the services. You know, she also still helps out with the customer service and all this other stuff, right? So now, let's say that me and my wife divorce, and she's supposed to get half. Do you see where I'm going with this? Now, if she's supposed to get half, that means she earned the half that she's getting. See, the problem with you guys is you marry some chick, you deal with a chick who ain't put shit in, and then you complain that she's getting half. Of course you're complaining because she ain't put shit in. So you're giving a chick half of what she didn't do shit. You see what I'm saying? She didn't do shit. So you have these dudes out here who are meeting chicks, getting married, and the chick ain't done a goddamn thing, and she's getting half, and that's your fault for not letting her put some shit in, for not saying, hey, listen, you need to put some shit in before I even make you, fuck marriage, before I even make you my girl. What are you doing? What are you doing to get to the level of girlfriend? Then you're my girlfriend. What are you doing to get to the level of wife? What are you putting in? What are you helping me build to actually put in? So let's say, for sake of argument, we break up and you're supposed to get half. What is the shit that you put in that makes it make sense that you are getting this half? You see what I'm saying? A lot of you guys, y'all so stuck on just fucking a chick and wanting somebody to fuck, y'all done forgot all about the other shit. You see what I'm saying? And then so another thing people will say is this. They'll say, well, why do you have to marry the girl? Why do you have to even do that? What's the point of that? I mean, you can still do this and do that and, not be married to her. Right? Now, objectively speaking, you could do that, but let me explain to you why the marriage thing happens. Now you gotta let me take you guys on a ride, on a journey. Just follow me here, please. Just follow me here. I'm gonna use an example of business again. Let's say you run a company, right? Now you have someone working in the mailroom or something like that, right? On some entry-level job shit. So now they working on that entry level shit, but they want to become vice president of the company. Now what's going to happen is they need to earn the right to be that vice president. They need to work their way up. They need to put in that time, effort, energy in order for you to say, that you, the owner of the company, to say, you know what? You've been doing a great fucking job for years. You've been getting it in. You've proven yourself. You know what? I'm going to, promote you to this position. And then you say, you know what? In this position, you've been doing great. So now I'm going to promote you to this other position. Then you're like, you know what? You've been doing real good in this position. Now you're finally going to be vice president. Right? Now, let's say when that person is vice president, right? You tell this person that, look, you're gonna be vice president or whatever, but you're not gonna get the office that says vice president on it. I'm just gonna have you still in the mailroom, just behind that little desk, but you're vice president, right? Now, what's gonna happen is this: is that even though that person technically is vice president, they're not going to do a good job as vice president. Why? Because part of the reason why they want to be vice president is not just to get the type of work the vice president's getting, not just to get the type of money that the vice president is getting. They want to be vice president because they want the title of vice president. It's an ego thing. So if you have the vice president working in the mailroom, what's going to happen is, even though they're vice president in the mailroom, they're not going to do vice president job or the vice president type of job well, because they are still not looked at as the position of vice president. When you put that person in the vice president room with the name of vice president on it, that's when they're going to do their vice president job properly. That's when they're going to give you more to your company. That's when they're going to give you more to your company. They're going to give more to the company because now they have that title there. You see what I'm saying? And this is why it's different when you have someone who you're married to versus someone who you're not married to. Because you're saying, well, you could do all that shit without being married. Yes, you can, but they're not going to give you the same type of energy and commitment. They're not going to give you the same type of cooperation. You see what I'm saying? So now, I'm not saying this to say, yo, you should get married or whatever. What I'm saying is this. I'm just trying to give you guys understanding. You got to understand this game. Right? And the game is this. Is that you have to give to get. So what happens is that these chicks out here, they're giving pussy and getting half. And the reason why that's happening is because these men out here, you guys out here, you're not doing your job to make sure that they're qualified before you give them those positions. You see what I'm saying? And when I'm talking about, the title and women, wanting that type of shit, what it is that you're giving her the title to get a specific type of cooperation. But see, that cooperation's only going to happen through you managing her throughout her journey to become that chick in that position of wife. Do you understand what I'm saying? So it's work on your part to first make sure that this chick is qualified to be that wife. Then you say, listen, you've worked your way up to this position. You've put in that time, energy, effort that, you've done the things you need to do in order to be able to receive the benefit of me being your husband. And if this doesn't work out, you've put in enough work with what I'm doing that if you need to get, or if it's not going to work out, you getting half is justifiable. See, nowadays, a woman getting half is not justifiable in most cases because a lot of times they don't do shit. And they don't do shit because you guys don't demand them to do shit. You do not put that game in her. You're not a guy who's a leader, who's leading this woman, who's managing this woman to get her to the point to where she is qualified to be that wife. You see what I'm saying? And so a lot of times, these women, they're not, because this is the thing. You can have a chick be your wife, but she can not, cooperate with you. Then she'll divorce you. She'll cheat on you. She'll do all this other fuck shit. And that's your fault for not training her. You understand? It's just like if you hire someone for your company and you don't train them, and then they fuck up, whose fault is that? You understand? Because see, this is the thing with the whole a woman being committed to you and a chick being your wife or long-term girlfriend, whatever it is. If you manage that shit right, if you lead her correctly, if you instill in her what you need to instill in her for her to be cooperative towards you, you ain't got shit to worry about. And then let's say for sake of argument, down the road shit don't work out and she leaves and then, she's supposed to get half or whatever. She's getting half of what she put in. You understand? So basically she already put in, so she's getting that. She's not getting just straight from you for doing nothing. You understand? So even let's say you're a dude and you with a chick or whatever, and because I want to explain more about this, her putting some shit in. You with a girl, you fucking around with this girl, you're dating or whatever, and let's say for sake of argument, this chick has more money than you, right? And let's say you working at some like regular job or whatever, but your real goal is to be a doctor or some shit. You understand? But you working at Target right now. And so you trying to, you know, go through medical school, whatever. And then what happens is that this chick is holding you down. She's hooking you up with some papers. She's cooking for you. She's cleaning for you. She's doing all of this stuff, right? And as a result, you become that doctor, right? And even while you're that doctor, she's still putting in and she's still helping you out with things, right? And then, you know, you've been with this girl for a while or whatever. Now, and, you know, she's on point. She's showing that she would be a good wife. Now, at this point, you can make her that wife, because what happened was because she held you down. You understand? And let's say, let's go even extreme. Let's say you ain't even have really nowhere to live. She, you know, you was staying at a crib, whatever the fuck you want to call it or say. You understand what I'm saying? Because she was holding you down, and y'all get together and y'all get married, right? If it doesn't work out and she's getting half of that, she's getting part of what she helped into, you know, to get where you at right now. You understand? She put in something. That's all I'm saying. You guys need to, before you get married, make sure this chick is putting in something. Do not give a chick the privilege of being your wife if she hasn't put nothing in. So it's about her putting in, but also too, it's about you being able to manage the situation. It's about you leading the girl. It's about you molding her into that chick. Because sometimes these chicks need to be molded into that type of chick. They need to be trained into that type of girl who's going to be a good wife. So there's all these things that need to happen before you even think about, forget wife, before you even think about making a girl your girlfriend. And then before you even think about making that girlfriend your fiance or wife. Because if you do it correctly, then you ain't got to worry about all that other shit. You ain't got to worry about her being uncooperative. You ain't got to worry about her, you know, running off and doing a whole bunch of other goofy shit. You ain't got to worry about you and her, you know, all this divorce shit. You understand? Like, and even if you do get divorced based off, you know, shit may change or whatever, cool. You want half? Great. Get your half that you earned. These chicks out here ain't earning shit. You see what I'm saying? So, you know, that's all I wanted to say about that, man. Listen, guys, if you have any questions, make sure you click the link below, and I'll holler at you later. Remember, the truth is inside you. Peace. I'm gone.
Now, before you turn off this video, I want you to do 3 quick things. 1, I want you to click the link below to send me a question. If you have a question on dating and relationships, I'll make a video about it. 2, I want you to click the link under that to get my free audio program, Undeniable Game, which teaches you 7 easy to follow tips on how to really attract beautiful women. And 3, I want you to click the link under that one to go to Bad Boy Membership, where you get 45 through 90-minute audio and video dating advice tutorials every month.
What's up? It's dating and life coach Mr. Locario. Go to badboymembership.com and master the dating game by joining my Bad Boy Membership program. In this program, you'll receive 45 through 90-minute, easy to follow, step-by-step dating advice tutorials that's guaranteed to help you attract, date, and have sex with beautiful women. Join the Bad Boy Membership today by going to badboymembership.com. That's badboymembership.com.